Hi, everybody. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Hey, thank you. Well, hi, everybody. It's been a minute. We will be live very soon, but we have some things that we need to show you, follow along with. And as you can tell, the line just keeps getting longer for those who want to kill us. Not that we care, but it's getting longer. So we appreciate those of you that are here. That sincerely care about the truth and our well-being, for that matter. There's some things that we want to talk to y'all about, and we haven't been live since, January? My mom and I are going through a lot, and with where we have to go next, I have a feeling we're about to go through more. So I thank you all again for being on here, and if it's possible for you to be ready with screen recorders, just in case there's an issue that I think I know what's coming, but I'll wait and we'll let go and let God. But the Panthers, all Black Panthers, you don't scare me. It's cute, but you don't scare me. That little girl is dead and she's gone and she grew up and she doesn't exist anymore. So the grown woman that I am now, you don't scare me. And the programming that you put in place, yeah, that's broken. If you haven't noticed, I don't know if you could tell. We'll see. No, I was not in a facility. Contrary to trending belief, as you can hear us talking, we are alive. We're not dead. I've never been in a facility. No, we're not missing. I don't know who keeps carrying these rumors, but I want to know missing to who. Because like the post that went out from the big man, there's 44 superheroes that know where we are at all times, all day, every day. And there's receipts to where we are all day, every day, in case of rumors and lies like you guys see going on. We cover all of our bases because we're not stupid. But there's some things that we've been trying to tell y'all for years now. What, about 5 years? I know a lot of you are like, it was hard to fathom. It was hard to understand. I don't get it because this is not something that I've ever seen before or heard before. I never even knew it was my reality. Well, now that you know that it's your reality, what are you doing? And no, I am not, and I have not been invited to the Black Panther party that they're calling a Diddy trial. Did you hear me? The Black Panther red carpet event that they're calling a Diddy trial for entertainment purposes. We're not talking about the children. We're talking about adults. It's good that we're finally talking about the adults that went through these things at 19 years old, barely legal age. But we're still not talking about the children. And if a grown man and other people were able to do this to a 19-year-old, it got covered by how many people? Hotel administration, police officers that were called, the DOJ, and so much more. And now it's coming to light. What do you think is happening to children that you feel like you couldn't fathom? If you're listening to what's going on this Diddy trial, what do you think is happening to the kids that they're not mentioning? The kids that are dead that nobody even knew about years ago. Look at how long it took for y'all to know about Cassie. How long is it going to take for you to know about the children? If Diddy is capable of it, who else do you think were at these parties? I don't want to hear anymore about we're protecting survivors, Pamela Bondi. You're protecting buyers. Say it like it is. Don't lie. Say it like it is. Dan Bongino, Cash Patel, Pamela Bondi. Y'all are protecting buyers at this point. I've asked to unredact my name. I've asked to unredact the ledgers. I've asked to unredact the things that I was a part of so you can see who the buyers are. We already have our life on the line. There's already a line of people that want to kill us. You think we're scared? You think we care? Do you think that it could get worse, but here we are. So if you need to use me as a stink bait, just like everybody else has done, to tell the truth about what's going on to the children, do it. I'm down. Somebody has to. I'm not afraid to do it. For those of you who are saying this administration is possibly scared and their lives are at risk, did y'all hear about Virginia Jeffrey? She's dead. Where's the protection for the victims? Witness protection program does not exist. Do y'all ever hear about anybody talking about witness protection program? You can't, because it's a government-funded, supposedly, agency brought to you by the CIA. Do you honestly think that witness protection program exists? Do you ever hear anybody come out and say, hey, witness protection, the government kept me safe? They can't, because they can't even talk about it if it exists.
Let me give you a little bit of food for thought regarding suicides, for survivors, for people that they want to shut up. Suicide is the easiest way to take somebody out and to shift all the focus from any wrongdoing. So immediately, if you see somebody that's committed suicide and it's in a controversial setting, Epstein, Virginia, things like that, that should always raise a red flag to you. Let me tell you something else about suicide. If somebody were to have immature programming, they have things put in place where they can trigger a survivor. They can trigger an alter in a survivor to come up and commit suicide. It's a fail-safe. So with Epstein, now we have to look at other things. So maybe he did commit suicide, but who triggered his programming? Maybe the suicide was covered up, which it probably was. With Virginia, my first thought was she probably has encounter programming and somebody triggered her fail-safe switch. So there's 30 years ago, we are in black and white thinking. It's either this or it's that. We go to the for help. We do what the doctor tells us. We do this, we do that. You got to set all that stuff aside and you got to step back and be objective, because there's so many other variables and things in place that we don't possess the ability to factor into what we're seeing until we start stepping out of the little box that we were been contained in and start seeing things through different eyes. The ultra survivors have side programming programmed into them. And it is often very graphic and violent. And if they get triggered, they will continue to keep trying to kill themselves till they succeed. So there's a lot of different things we need to look at. I remember back, there's been a lot of celebrities, Robin Williams, the doorknob. Go back and look at those things through new eyes. You're going to see things that you missed, that you couldn't wrap your head around because you didn't have the information. You have the information now. So start looking at things differently.
I pray that Virginia gets the rest that she deserves. There's no justice until the truth is brought to the light for Virginia, but I pray that she gets the rest that she deserves. We are not suicidal. There will be no car accidents, no accidental fires, no accidental explosions. There is nothing in our car. We are not carrying any weapons. We are not carrying any medications that cannot be accounted for legally. We do not incite any violence. But we are asking you to help us, fight with us, raise your voice with us, because I know a lot of you are late to this party because you didn't know, but now you know. So what the hell are you waiting for? It's the people's opinion that really matters. Y'all get that, right? It's the people. So when the people all at once stand up and stop signing the paychecks to celebrities, to corrupt officials, to corrupt content creators, that's when this game ends. Y'all get that right? And if you didn't before, do you now? You should be pissed because you missed a lot if you're just waking up. Thank you for being here. Please listen to this next video. Please help us share it everywhere. We'll be live very soon. Insurance holders, we are cleaning out the closet. Finally. Don't have to do it while we're dead either. You can do it alive. I'm over it. I'm pissed. And I can't take it anymore. So, enough's enough. We'll be live and in person so you guys can see our faces and know it's us. We want to show you some things too because we have to go into a lion's den. And we're not scared. We legit are not scared to walk straight up in hell, spit on the devil's floor, and find some water to bring back for other survivors. I'm down. You get my analogy? I'm down. Okay? So thank you so much again for watching this next video and raising your voice with us. Hold our officials accountable. No matter who you are, the children are off limits, period. You should have thought about that before you put your hands on me. Thank you, everybody. Talk soon. Oh, and the saying, fuck you.
The saying goes, actions speak louder than words, but inaction also speaks louder than words, and that's what we're dealing with right now. I'm sure I'm going to anger a lot of you with what I'm about to say, those of you still clinging to your illusions. Please trust me when I say I don't care. Where we're at right now, you're either for the children or against the children. My name is Shelley Carter. I've been the adopted mom of Allison Carter for almost 16 years. Allie was raised as a child slave, beginning at the age of 3 months old, according to the CPS reports that I have in my possession. I posted those online. We are just coming off one of the worst smear and slander campaigns against us that I've ever witnessed. It was an attempt to silence Allie and to discredit me. I have literally had every accusation imaginable thrown my way. So believe me when I say your anger over what I'm about to say won't faze me or shake me in the least. Your response will show me if you stand for or against the children. However, it is my deepest hope that after you lash out at me, you will take a moment to reflect. Reflect on what I'm saying, reflect who I am saying it for, and reflect on why I'm saying it now. Allie was raised in child slavery in the United States to be a sex slave to the elite. From infancy, she was trafficked, used in satanic bloodletting and sex magic rituals. To be trafficked at that level requires immature programming, which ties to our U.S. government and the CIA. Ultra programming was created in the dark shadows of our military by people with evil intent and at the guidance of the Black Panthers bloodline that she was born into. She was programmed as a child to sexually service and feed the evil, greed, and fetishes of the elite we all idolize. My fight began 16 years ago for her safety and for her healing, and for the justice for her and for every child and survivor that experienced the same things she did. As it stands in the United States, conservatively speaking, 8 million children go missing a year. Add to that the 350,000 children missing from the U.S. border who are being trafficked as we speak. You may not understand what that level of fear, pain, and torture look like in the eyes of a child, but I do. I've seen it every day. I've seen it every hour of every day in each of the 200 of Allie's altars that come up in various stages of fear, pain, torture, and trauma. If you are a parent, I shouldn't have to explain the urgency to you that we as humans should feel to our very core that we need to solve this problem quickly and by any means necessary. If we cannot protect and care for our children, what is the point of anything else? I am disgusted and angry at the inaction of our new officials, tasked with the responsibility of bringing justice for the children. I have not seen urgency in them, but I have seen attempts to gaslight and placate the public. Pamela Bondi, Allie has given you express, verbal, and written permission to unredact her name in the child ledgers and the documents you possess from her time at the islands, from her time at Diddy's freak-off and white parties, from the numerous visits she was taken to at the Playboy Mansion, from her being trafficked over state lines to Snoop Dogg's 2009 concert in State Line, Nevada, from Oprah Winfrey's house, from being trafficked to Joe Biden's party under the Getty, from being trafficked to Obama, from being trafficked to Michelle, and from hundreds of other buyers listed on the ledgers that you seem determined to keep from the public. Shame on you. You countered Allie's public request to unredact her name, stating you, and I quote, would be keeping survivors' names redacted for their safety. I wonder how Virginia feels about your concern for her safety. I'll tell you how I feel. I, Allie's mom, am doing everything in my power to keep Allie safe, while you're doing everything in your power to keep the buyers of children safe. We are not the same. Am I really to believe in the last 90 days that you could not release information on a single child slave buyer? It has been 90 days since you promised to release the Epstein buyers the following day. That was a lie. You said the files were on your desk. That was also a lie. You said there was a truckload of documents and ledgers, but there were only 100 to 200 survivors. That is also a lie. There are thousands and thousands of survivors that span decades, some living and some dead. We, the American people, are disgusted and exhausted by the games and the lack of urgency coming from your office regarding the children. No one asked you to give a timeline on the release of the information. You volunteered that on your own, and then you lied to every child and survivor when you failed to keep your promise. You broke trust with the American public as your first course of action. You did that. I'm just calling it out. I see your urgency to address and report on every other issue. Kesh Patel, when you stepped into your role as director of the FBI, you walked into a cesspool of corruption. Things like the ultra programming that created slaves out of human beings that were later trafficked because of the ultra. I had hoped against hope that you would do what you said and be transparent and clean out the corruption at the FBI. I've not seen any evidence of that. The chaos and confusion that you participated in with Bondi over the Epstein files, whether they were a file folder that was on her desk, whether it was a truckload of tens of thousands of videos and ledgers coming from your office to hers, you've created chaos and confusion, and that reeks of corruption on your part. To add insult to injury, you and your sidekick went on live TV to tell the people that Epstein committed suicide, telling the American public your opinion on something is not transparency. True transparency would be you showing the Epstein files, unredacting the autopsy reports, unredacting any investigative information, and releasing it to the public so we could see it for ourselves. That's what transparency is, and you are not doing any of that. So I have to ask myself, why would the new director of the FBI be covering up and hiding and shielding the buyers on the Epstein list? Why would the head of the DOJ, the Attorney General, why would she be hiding, covering up, stalling for the information of people that are buying children for slavery. 30 years ago, I was a sheep and I would have believed everything coming out of your mouth. But 16 years ago, I became the mom of a survivor, and I can see through the bullshit because I see how deep the corruption goes. The most foolish thing that I could be doing right now is calling out to the Attorney General of the United States and the Director of the FBI. That's a death sentence. I understand that, but I also understand the depth of corruption, and I also understand the evil that's being done to our children. And I would rather stand boldly and maybe even foolishly for the children's sake than to sit silently and let it continue. As long as there's breath in my lungs, I will continue to stand up to the highest officials on behalf of the children. Anybody, I don't care who you are or what position you hold, that is aiding and abetting buyers of children, sex slave traders, should be held accountable to the same punishment. President Trump, will you please audit your people that are in charge of the Epstein list, that are in charge of the Diddy list, and that are supposed to be acting on behalf of the children, because I've not seen an ounce of urgency. I've not seen an ounce of transparency in any of them. To the rest of America, I will continue to stand for the children. I will continue to be a voice for the children and the survivors, even if it costs me my life. But I am asking you to raise your voices with me, because this is on our watch. This is our responsibility. God bless.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me again? Yay. I thought I was done, but I have one more thing. And this is actually really good news. I'm so excited. You know, I don't come from a place where grass grows or roots mean any damn thing. If I could have changed my DNA to not match the fucked up bloodline that I have, I would have. The second that I was able to take off from the predators that were in my life, I'm talking the outlaws, there should be a full investigation on the outlaws that you do see popping their heads up. They all have a "la" in their name. Let me give you a little hint there. But the point is, I didn't want the last name Outlaw. I didn't want shit to do with the Outlaws. It wasn't my choice to be here. And I damn sure didn't want the people that I had that supposedly gave me life. Still don't know what the truth is, but supposedly gave me life or incubated, whatever the case may have been, whatever the bullshit excuse is. I didn't want it. Okay. So when I turned 12 or 13 years old, I tried my best to get the hell away from it. And I promised myself if I could get as far away from my predators one day that I would. And now that you know, my name is Allison Leilani Ray Carter. Tory Outlaw's dead. Everybody knows that, right? Clear. We're good? Good. Now, the fun part is real men do exist. I didn't know that either. There are real men that care about their children. There are real men that won't hurt their children, sell their children, trade their children for somebody or something else. Fame, notoriety, a ticket, an excuse. There's men who will die for their children, doing whatever it takes to keep them safe, being their protector, their defender, their rock. There are real men like that. So I'm so excited to say my name is about to get longer, because in this time, no, contrary to crazy ass trending belief too, no, my mom is not married. She would rather stab her eyes out with a spoon, y'all. And she really just wants her dogs back. So no, my mom is not married and has never been married. Not going to happen. This man is like a brother to my mom. And it was my decision and his decision to say that I'm getting adopted very soon. once again. So I've been chosen twice. I now can say that I have two parents who will do anything that it takes, whatever it takes to keep me safe. I can't wait for you guys to meet him one day. I love you, Dad. Talk soon.
There's no pharmacy. There's no SSRI. There's nothing in this world that can mop up the damage that's been done when we're talking about the ID. So I want to talk today about why we're not at the Diddy trial. And I just want to talk about some red light things that I've never talked about before. And then, let's post this on YouTube. Let's get this out there, because I think, I know that some people are coming this way because they're like, oh, you're in a facility being deprogrammed. No, that's not the truth. I'm actually just loved more than I could ever imagine. I'm loved. And that is the key to tear down programming. Nobody knows that, though. Nobody wants it. That's hard to believe. You can't make money off of that. You can't take it away from somebody. That's why nobody wants to talk about that. So I'm babbling. Am I babbling? I'm babbling. I'll get it together. Let's do more worship. I think we need more worship. We leave in a few days. We've been here for a few days. We're surrounded by angels right now. It's been a really good weekend. We've gotten to see so many of the heroes. I got to take a dance class. Mom got to ride in the back seat while someone else drove the car. I'm putting on some food right now. I'm making some homemade spaghetti sauce. I'll send you a little clip, and it smells so good in here. And it just, I'm really excited for the day that we get to be normal and just be able to sit still and just be. Just be. I think a lot of people have a celebrity or a TV mentality when it comes to us just because we're on a screen. We're simple people. Really damn simple. I just want to go back to school, and not for the fact because we all know that the colleges are full of shit. It's not that. It's just the fact that I get to say I did it. I don't care about. I probably won't learn much that we get to use. I would learn more just on my own, but it's the fact that I can say I did it. That's why I want my degree. I just want to say I did it. Got through the shit. I did it. And nobody could take that from me. That's all I want. It ain't that deep. I just want to say I did it. After 13, 14 years in a community college, it was supposed to take barely 4. I did it. And all mom wants is her animals. Just leave the woman alone and let her have a dog. That's it. And if I can teach, that would be amazing. I didn't mean like this. I did not mean like this. I meant when I told God I want to teach one day, I want to have a line wrapped around a building. I meant dance. I meant dance. And then this happened, and it's been 5 years of this. And we have to do some crazy things in the next few weeks. Really crazy things that could get us killed, murdered. Not even murdered. There's things worse than death. That's the problem. There's things way worse than death. And I think dying is the completely easy part for everybody. Definitely for predators. People are like, let's just kill him. Let's not. That's not fair. That's not fair. I don't think that's fair. That's the easy way out. There's things worse than death. And we have so much to do and shut down and take care of and mop up and clean up in the next few weeks, and cleaning messes that weren't even necessary to clean, and nobody asked and nobody needs to know. It's just the what the fuck life is and the way that life got handed to us, and here I go cussing and fussing, and I'm still trying to do worship, and Jesus knows my heart and my mouth, and things are just gonna come out today that probably shouldn't come out. It's like word vomit and diarrhea of the mouth. I can't help it, but it's gonna be fine. And I don't even know where things are going, but we are so sick. We are just, everything has been out of our bags in the last 5 years, and it's not that things are, it's not like a complete newsflash. This is our life. This is our life. It's just more people know about it. I'm babbling. Am I babbling? I'm babbling. Everything is everywhere. Everything is everywhere, and we're gonna talk about this trial and stuff, but I'm looking at stuff and I'm just like, Lord, we still ain't talked about the children. And when we do talk about the children, the amount of people that are like, well, what about, I want to know this, I want to know that. Do you want to know it for entertainment or education purposes? Because you know that whole saying, this is for educational purposes. What are you doing with the education? You know what I'm saying? We're simple people. We're simple people. And the only thing that I want is, because I've been able to live again. I've been able to do dance and find hobbies and have family and be loved, know what it's like to be full and eat something just because the hell of it, and do something because I want to, and not do something because I don't want to. And I feel guilty. I feel guilty because I'm like, other survivors have to know what that feels like. And if I've gotten the opportunity to feel it, then who the hell am I to just sit still and act like it's not fine, nothing's fine. You know? Nothing's fine when there's other survivors, kids, children, adults, young adults that don't even know what life is, because when you get to a certain point as an adult, I've been looking back at things, and I've been looking through insurance, and I've just been looking at old situations, and I've been going through flashbacks and sitting through nightmares and literally walking through night terrors. I'm gonna get the words together. I tripped over myself. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm making spaghetti sauce. I'm making spaghetti sauce. Let's do, we said two more songs, right? Two more songs. Okay. Y'all are so funny. If you ain't sneezing, it ain't seasoned. Exactly. That's the motto. Yeah, they just came out the oven, and then I'm gonna put them in the blender, and then some brown sugar, a good handful of that. We'll even that right out. It'll be all right. Okay. Um, I'm smiling a lot because I'm trying to figure out which way I'm gonna spit this out, okay? So I know some people are probably looking at me like, what is, I'm trying to figure out what I want to start with first. Um, I just feel like we need to stop the red lights, you know? No more red lights. You remember back in the beginning? Who was here back in the way beginning? And it's not, we're not trying to take a survey. I'm just trying to be like, hey, just a, what's that called? A census? It's just a census check. It's not that deep. I don't care. If you weren't here, it's okay. I love you. Thank you for being here anyways. But in the way beginning, somebody had asked me, and I could find the screenshot for you when somebody asked me, do you have altars? And I put, do not ask me a Monday question on a Saturday. If it was Saturday and I said, don't ask me a Saturday question on a Friday. And I kept going around it. I never said yes. I never said no. I just kind of went around it, right? Um, do y'all remember that? Do you remember when we talked about y'all would ask me questions and I would just be like, hey, that's a red light. And then I'd say green light, and it was, the old school game, red light, green light of, that's a no, that's a call all stops. That's a green light, meaning yes. Yellow light, meaning let's slow the hell down because I'm getting anxiety, right? Do y'all remember that? Okay, cool. I'm reading in the chat too. Well, now I'm saying no more red light. No more. I'm done with red lights. It's not my problem anymore when you're seeing it for yourself. And I don't even know why. At one point I was protecting the predators, and it's not protecting, it's just knowing that there's nothing that I could do about it. It's just me. It's just my mom. So I'm like, there's nothing we can release it for the world, but the world is not social media. Meaning the amount of numbers that you see on our platforms, that doesn't exist when we go outside. We call it a 90s in the wild, which is really cool when we see a 90 out in public. If we're out and about, and if we try to run into a gas station or a bathroom, we met a 90 in the Hobby Lobby bathroom. We met a 90 in the gas station. We met a 90 grabbing some chicken from the deli at a grocery store. The amount of numbers that you see on social media, that's not reality. Do y'all get what I mean by that? Like, so the amount of people that you see in the comment section, if you jump on XO Odyssey right now and you look at the comment section and you see all these people that are talking and we want to fight against this and we want to do that, and I don't this and I don't that. When you look at the amount of people, just go look at that and just look at the amount of people in the comments that you see. That's not reality. Does that make sense? So when we go outside, we're not bumping into that many people that's in our comment section. That's why I don't. And when we do bump into someone, I'm not like, oh my gosh, whoa, you know me. I'm like, whoa, shit, you know me. Shit. In my mind, I'm not like, woo, you know me. I'm like, all bad. So that means that if you know me and I see you and you see me, that means that the message that I carry, you do understand that it's in your city, right? Right? So when I bump into people, my mom and I are not like, woohoo. We're like, oh shit. Because, and my mom is always like, I expect people to be good people. I'm ready to fight people. And it's not like in a bad way. I've never been in an experience where people are good to me all the time. I've never had the experience where people are just nice to me all the time. So when we come across people that are really nice to us, I really thank them, because I'm like, just thank you for being a good person, because I've not, besides my mom and the family that we're meeting now, I've never really had that. So I really appreciate when people are just good people for no reason, because it's rare for me. So when we come across people, I probably have this really weird look on my face, like crackhead ferret over my shoulder, looking everywhere. That's just me. I'm weird. It's not you, it's me. I'm not that ditzy. I'm weird because I'm like, what does that mean? Because if it's a social media thing, that's not good. You're just seeing me because you're seeing me. That's great. But in my heart, I'm like, that's not good either. Because I mean, it's great. It's great. I love to, don't get me wrong, I have a gift for everybody that we meet. I now that we've met so many people, like I say, out in the wild, I make sure that there's something by my feet, because people just don't do that. They don't, everybody that's on social media, they just care about them damn selves, and they don't care about anybody else or any other thing or anything that's important or anything that's serious. So I feel like if I bump into someone, the least that I can do is say thank you, or give them something, or tell them I appreciate them. Because if I bump into you, then I'm like, sex trafficking, human trafficking, the ultimate message I carry is in your city. This is your problem. We are in this together. If I bump into you, that's what that means. That means if you see me and I see you and you see my mom, and we're all standing together, we're all in this together. That's the scary part. It should be the scary part. Like, some people are like, oh my God, it's you. And I'm like, yeah, oh my God, it's you. Because do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? That means that if you've watched one of these videos, if you've sat with us in one of the craziest situations that we've been through in the past 5 years, that means that you realize this is your war too. The only difference is now it's out of your phone. It's not just on your screen. It's in person. And that means it's personal. That's what scares me. Like, do y'all understand what I'm saying? It's exactly. It's overwhelming. It is. Because it's like, you do understand this is about us, right? You do understand we have to do this together. Because if you look at all this shit going on, I'm waiting. I saw a comment that I don't care about, but I saw a comment that I shouldn't be in. And it was like, this administration is scared too, or don't bash this administration. And I'm not bashing them. I'm wondering, where the hell are they? Because we know that everybody is guilty. I've never said that this is a red or a blue issue. This is not a religious issue. This is not a political issue. This is not a race issue. This is not a sexual orientation issue. This is a humanity issue. So that means we're all in this together. I don't care who you believe in. I don't care what you believe in. I don't care what you have sex with. I don't care who you claim to be. I don't care if you believe in Jesus. I don't care if you believe in the universe. I don't give a shit who or where you stand. We all can agree torture is wrong. Because if it happened to you, you'd agree it was wrong. Period. I believe in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior because I've seen him work. I didn't believe in him at first. And then I'm starting to see a lot of people, I don't believe in God. Okay, right. But when all hell breaks loose, the first 3 words that everybody says is what? Oh my God. No matter who you are. Oh my God. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. We all can agree that if something happened, we're all calling on someone to help us. And then all in all, no matter what you believe in, no matter who you have been raised by, no matter what culture you're from, no matter where you came from, if you are in a situation where you are scared to death, the first 3 words you're going to cry out is, oh my God. Universally, no matter who that God is, you are looking for somebody to help you. So we are all in a situation where there are children crying out, oh my God, mom, dad, somebody, oh my God, universally, all together now. Help, right? Am I babbling? Is it me? I'm good. I'm still going good. Okay. I just feel like I have so much on my heart that I'm trying to find a place to start with. And the trial. Everyone's asking us why we're not on the trial, why we're not testifying, why we're not the ones, what is going on? Why aren't we on the stand? Why aren't we going to put our testimony on there because we should be on there? Just because, first of all, the trial started with Cassie Ventura. The trial is about Cassie Ventura. It's about who's seen what happened to Cassie Ventura. Have y'all heard them once talk about the children? Have you? No? Have y'all heard them talk about anything outside of Cassie? A situation outside of the adult escorts? No? Do you hear Don Richards say that there were children at this party? Did you hear Don Richards say that? Did you hear her say there were multiple celebrities at this party? You hear a bunch of them say, this is not just Diddy. There were multiple celebrities at this party. There were multiple people being taken advantage of at this party. In the affidavit, okay, let me roll back a little bit. Here I go. I'm gonna roll it back. Y'all ready? We ready? We're going back? Okay, because you're gonna stay with me because this might be a little bit. And if anybody can help me edit this, so we're not gonna edit it to put anything in it, but it's just edited to say, because I might jump a few places. So if we could just help me edit this to make sense. But here we go. It's gonna make sense. I'm gonna try. 2021, I think. 2021, I told you guys, nobody talks about Diddy. We don't talk about Diddy. On a Maria Z interview. I don't know if anybody has the link to that, but if anybody wants to go back, because you might be new, you might be like, I wasn't here for that. Okay, cool. I got you. There is, maybe somebody else got you, but there's a link. Maria Z interview. I just spit out, and I don't even know why I spit it out. I was having a panic attack. And I said, nobody tells on Diddy. Nobody. Nobody tells on Snoop Dogg. Nobody. Nobody tells on Beyonce. Nobody. And I got used to that. I'm smiling because I'm trying to keep myself from crying, because you won't understand what the hell I'm saying. If I start crying, it's not bubbles go. it doesn't help anybody. Okay, so if you're looking at me like, why the hell is she smiling? It's my coping mechanism. Fuck you. Anyways, so I I I said, hey, nobody tells on Diddy. Okay, and everybody's like, nah, she crazy. It's just talking now. In that affidavit, there was a buffet. They're calling it a buffet. You can relate that to what I'm trying to tell you. There was food on the table. I was told by my pimp, don't eat the food. Don't even dare. It's not real. And on top of that, you'll be sick. And we ain't got time for that, because if you start throwing up everywhere, then you're going to fuck up the jobs that we have for the night. So just don't eat. Got it. Right? Cassie Ventura, I don't know I don't know if I would have it right to say, but I think it was Don Richards, Cassie Ventura, and another escort has testified. And somebody mentioned the buffet that was going on with the children. There's multiple kids that were set on the table, like party favors. When I first talked about this, everybody thought it was it's just me. And now we're seeing it on the case. And everybody's like, okay, Allie needs to get on the stand and talk. That's the people's opinion.
That's two-dimensional thinking.
That's not what's happening. Do you understand what I'm saying? Before, the people weren't hearing what I was trying to tell you. Before, the people weren't understanding that, hey, this rapper that is a legacy, a man's idol, a man's perspective, and the way that a man is supposed to act. There's no way that he could be doing these things. You heard what he did to Cassie, his bottom bitch. If you don't know what a bottom bitch is, in industry terms, in the life terms, that means his wife, his girlfriend. Okay? This man owns a ring. Sean Combs is the leader of a ring. If you're not understanding what that means that he runs multiple boys and girls, men and women, young adults. Cassie was only 19 when this happened. I want you to think of this is graduation season. A lot of you are headed to graduation to witness 17, 18-year-olds walk across the stage. Are they old enough? Are they mature enough to deal with the industry that we're talking about? Is that an adult to you? Just because they turn 18, are they an adult to you? Is their mindset an adult to you? No. Right? So Cassie Ventura, when Sean Combs got a hold of her, was 19 years old. His twin daughters, they're 18. They were barely a year older than his twin daughters.
It's funny because people are calling his twin daughters children, but they're calling Cassie at 19 an adult.
How does that work? Okay. So when I was in this situation, I was 15. Cassie Ventura was 19. I was 15. Are we all on the same page here? I was 15. I want you to think we're in graduation season. I want you to watch how your 15 and your 18, barely 18-year-olds act and carry themselves. Are they old enough to even have a bill, be on their own, be outside past midnight, make decisions for themselves? Do you consider them an adult just because they just turned 18 years old? No. Okay. What did Mama say? Can you repeat that about the twins?
Oh, media, all of his children, his kids are here. And what, they 17, 18-ish?
They're 18.
But then in the same breath, they're saying that Cassie made the decisions and she made the choices and she chose to be trafficked and she chose to stay at 19. Like, make that make sense. Words matter. Intent matters.
Everybody's like, oh, well, they shouldn't be in the courtroom during that. What if somebody did to them what Diddy did to Cassie? What difference? How is there a difference? When I went to this elite party, I was 15 years old. I dealt with everything at 15 years old. When I think there's a video. I know there's a video. It's on my mom's Facebook. I don't know if anybody can find it. I have purple hair. I'm in a camouflage sweater. I remember the night like it was yesterday. It's the night after the bonnet, or it's the night of the bonnet video, maybe the night after. And we're sitting at our home on Standing Rock. And I'm saying, everybody's like, you're about to go viral. And I'm like, go viral how? And I started having a panic attack at the end of the video because I said I was that girl to last for days. I was that girl. And I couldn't say it out loud. It wouldn't come out. And then I had a panic attack. It was the day after. I think it was the day after the bonnet video, or it's that night. It's on my mom's Facebook. And if you listen to Cassie when she's like 4-day parties, I don't think people are not understanding what that means. That means nobody lets you go for hours. I don't care if you cry. I don't care if you get on your period. I don't care if you have to pee. I don't care if you have a cramp. I don't care if you like, I can't do this anymore. I don't care if you have a panic attack. It doesn't matter if you don't, if you have anxiety or you're scared. It does not matter what you decide. It means nobody is letting you go until the people that are walking in and out of that door is done with you. I've said several times, when you walk into a party, you walk into that party with the thought of, I'm not walking out of here. So the least that I can do is try to control my shit so there's a possibility that I'm walking back out of here. For the singer, for someone who was releasing music, for someone who the public was looking for a response from them, that happened to her. What does everybody think happened to the children, to the other people, young adults or children who were at that party, that were used as a commodity, as a party favor, as a punching bag, as a sex puppet? What do you think happened to them? Who do you think they were supposed to call? Who do you think they were supposed to tell? The hotel. You're just now seeing what happened how many years ago to Cassie in a hotel? Who covered that up? The hotel manager. Not just the hotel manager, but the hotel security. There's about 5 to 7 different groups that covered up that situation. The hotel security, because the hotel security has a video. So not only that, but there is a tech and light and security check. There's somebody who runs those cameras. So that's not the same person who says, hey, I have the security radio and I'm here just for security purposes. That's somebody who says, hey, I know how to work these cameras. If something happens to these cameras, if I need to edit something off these cameras, if we need to pull footage, run it back, that's somebody who runs specifically those cameras. That is their job. So you had that camera person and that camera crew. You had the security and their security crew. You had the manager and everybody who was on shift that night. You had the hotel maids and everybody who heard her being thrown around the room, the glass being broken, the screams and everything, that knew that there was an elite rapper upstairs, and you had bystanders. How many years did it get covered up? How many groups of people? If the police were called, at all in any situation that Diddy had where he got away with beating the hell, torturing the hell, raping the hell out of somebody. The police were called and somehow it was covered up. How? Because why? Let me tell you why. Let me help you. Somebody catered to them. Let me help you who that somebody was. It was probably children. It was somebody like Cassie under the age of 18. Diddy said, here, let me cover this up. I don't need you to say anything about this, so I will give you another party favor. That wasn't a bag with a fidget spinner. That was a child. Like me. And we're still not talking about the fact that Diddy wasn't the only customer. He wasn't the only person that was participating in the things like this. He wasn't the only person that was sampling a party favor, a child. 18 years old, you're not an adult. I'm sorry. It's just not, that's not a thing. Okay, let me help you. You can't rent a car until you're 25. I never understood this until after I was 26. You can't rent a car until after you're 25. They don't trust you to rent an automobile until after you're 25 because of the insurance. But they don't mind using you as a kamikaze doll for the military at 18 because you're expendable. We're not talking about the children on this trial yet. When we're talking about the children, come find me. Let me know what's up. I will, you know what? We'll do this. When we're talking about the children, hit me up. There's, I don't know how many emails. Nick Fury, everybody really keep going around him. But when we really get on the children, because I understand this is about a Diddy trial, but we're trying to talk about just the singers, the people who were on under a record label, under an album release. When you look at the things, I think Sean Combs, Diddy, signed Cassie to a 10 album. I think 10 albums. When you, as a performing artist, as somebody who is in that industry, when you look at how many years it takes to make one album, that's not a thing. He wasn't planning to let her go. He made a contract with her, a contract that she couldn't get out of even if she wanted to. He owned her. Just like if the military said, hey, at 18 years old, come on this way. You know those military people that are sitting at these graduations like they're doing recruiting right now? He recruited her. And he said, hey, come on a little closer. Come on a little closer. I'll pay for school. I'll pay for this. I'll pay for that. And the next thing you know, she signed on and he was like, got her. There's no AWOL. That is absent without leave. I own you. If you leave, I get to drag your ass back. That's the basic military. That's what's happening right now. They're sitting at graduations recruiting 18-year-olds because they don't have the mind to say they're not their mindset is I'm about to get paid. I'm about to go to school. I'm about to be out of my parents' house. I'm about to do what I want to. I'm about to leave at a curfew. They don't understand how that affects them down the line. They don't understand the bigger picture. They're not looking at that. This is the honest truth, honest to God truth. You're not looking at that at 18 to 21 years old. You're just not. You're looking at what can I do right now and what can I see, the results that I need to see in the next week. After so many years, you start to think, what are the results in the next 5 to 10 years? Not what are the results tomorrow. If somebody tells me I'm going to be able to make $1,000, I need to know that tomorrow I need to have $1,000 in my hand. That is the type of mindset 18 to 21-year-olds are in. So you're not thinking of long term. So when they sign those contracts, when the military is recruiting the children that they're recruiting right now at the graduation ceremonies, they're not thinking about 5 years from now what's going to happen. They're thinking about, if I can pay for school, if I could pay for a house, I could get a brand new car, I could have my own home, I could be driving it and be flashy for my friends. The people in high school that I saw in fourth period will never believe this shit. That's the type of mindset that they're in. So of course they sign that contract and they don't understand they just gave blood. They get into boot camp and then they call their parents and they tell my mom and daddy, I can't do this. I don't understand. They waking me up at 6 o'clock in the morning. They yelling at me in my face. I got to clean up. We didn't talk about, I'm doing my own laundry. I'm far away from home. The environment is all kind of different. The atmosphere is weird. I want to come home. And then when they start running towards home, their handler kicks in and says, I own you. That is called an AWOL. If you leave, I can throw your ass in jail. And your parents can't say shit because you signed that contract. I don't care how much you're tired or how your bones hurt or what you didn't understand about the fine print. I own you. Get your ass back here or I drag your ass back here. That's military. What do you think is happening on NDAs? Those contracts that you see these celebrities, Britney Spears, Raven-Symoné, Miley Cyrus, Demi Lovato, all these contracts that you've seen them, all these kids in Disney, the new Lilo, that child has a contract. So when she's yawning and tired in those interviews, it doesn't matter. Disney owns her. You're selling a movie. You get your ass up there and you play the part as Lilo. If that's the case for the people in the limelight, what do you think is the case for the people in the dark? So while everybody is like, why isn't Ali on the case? Why aren't we talking about the children?
I have some things on the case. Number one, who holds all the ledgers? Somebody's holding the ledgers for Epstein and Diddy, which is probably very similar to each other. But who's holding the ledgers? Bondi, for the Diddy case, the FBI, the prosecutors. So far, we've still not seen anything with the children. We're talking about Cassie. Epstein is quiet. Nothing's moving from that direction. Everything is about Cassie, and technically Cassie was overage. Do I believe Cassie is a survivor? 100%. Do I believe Cassie has MK Ultra programming? 100%. Do I believe she's one of the Diamond Kids? 100%. So then, as a mom, then I have to look at things like why did they put Cassie on the stand? Why did they make her and her baby sit up on that stand in front of him? If she has MK Ultra programming, do you know he's triggering her programming? Do you know the depth of the trauma? You can't tell me they couldn't have taken a deposition. You can't tell me they couldn't have interviewed her off-site. But no, they made her sit up in front of him. And to me, that's criminal. And it really makes me side-eye what's going on in the courts. And I would not want to put Ali in that situation. And I would not put any survivor in that situation. And nobody should expect that from a survivor. They have the video of her getting her ass beat. They have all the ledgers. So they know what the hell they're doing, what the hell happened. They just need Cassie to say yes or no. If they need to interview her, they could have done it with each attorney at a deposition. So why are they putting her in front of him? They're not, it's not on camera. It's not for the public to see. Everything's behind closed doors. So it really raises a lot of red flags to me in that regard. Allie has not been subpoenaed, but to be fair, we move around a lot. But to be fair, again, nobody's emailed or contacted. But again, the difference being Allie was a child, and I don't see anybody moving in the direction of the children. A lot of people are, well, Allie needs to be there, and she's a liar if she's not there. Who's paying? The trial's supposed to go on for 2 months. Who's paying for the travel expenses? Who's paying for the housing expenses? If somebody gets subpoenaed, who takes care of all that? Who pays for protection? So many people, like, people say stupid shit and two-dimensional thinking, and they just, oh, there's a trial, so the survivors should be there and they should speak up and they should stand together. Nobody bothers to ask questions outside of the box. Do you know how many predators are sitting in that courtroom? How many people that worked with Diddy are sitting in that courtroom? How many Black Panthers are sitting in that courtroom?
That is a Black Panther. That is a red carpet Black Panther affair. That is a Black Panther party. That's not a trial. That is a Black Panther reunion. Y'all see that?
Cassie wasn't just sitting in the face of Diddy. She was sitting in the face of so many predators. There's predators sitting in the audience that put money down to hire a hit on Allie. Why would I take Allie anywhere near that shit? I've not seen any positive or transparent or concern for the kids coming from the FBI. In fact, I've seen the opposite. I have not seen any transparent concern, care, justice coming for the kids from the DOJ. I've not seen any of those things coming from the Attorney General. I've seen the exact opposite. There is no witness protection. And Virginia can probably testify to that. There is no witness protection for true survivors. There was one of Diddy's security guards that popped up around the smear campaign time saying that he would protect Allie. But the dude's running around trying to testify at the Diddy trial with his own security guard. So make that shit make sense. If this was your child that had been so traumatized, that had MK Ultra programming that you knew could be triggered so easily, that you know how high the corruption goes, that you know how easy it is to buy people off and have them look the other way, would you take your kid there? Would you let your kid have anything to do with that shit? And I want you to pay attention to the people that are calling Allie a liar because she's not at the court. I want you to pay attention to the people that are saying Cassie wanted it, or she liked it, or she was part of it, or she should have just left. Pay attention to who they are, because those are the people that are your hairdressers and your janitors and your little league coaches, and they work at your kid's school. Those are the people that if your kid came and said, hey, somebody's hurting me, they're going to do the same thing to your child that they're doing to Cassie and that they're doing to Allie. So pay attention. They're showing you who they are.
Yeah, that's the people, when everybody is so worried about the top and the elite and who did this and who's on TV. And when we kept saying from the get-go, you should be worried about the people on the bottom. You should be worried about the people in between. These are the people that we're talking about. Because the people that are like, oh, well, she liked it and her body responded and she stayed. And I understand not everybody has been abused. Good for you. Great for you. Great for you. However, when we talk about everyday narcissists, I think a lot of people have went through, unfortunately, somebody who has tried to control their life, whether that's a parent, a, a spouse, a sibling, um, an overprotective friend. You've met someone who you have to been like, hey, hold up, this is me, this is my life, this is not you, you need to chill for 2 seconds and back because I know what I'm about to do. All right. But when you have been in a situation, and I don't know if I'm talking to you or who I'm talking to, but when you've been in a situation with a narcissist or someone who thinks that they control your life, and they're that, I don't even know what word to use besides painful, to think that they will never let you go. You know it's not easy to leave. You know that everybody in your friend group is like, what are you thinking? What possessed you to still stay with this person? Why are you still listening to this person? Who do you think? I'm trying to pull you away from this person. Think for yourselves. I know somebody has been there where you've been like, I can't get away from them. And that's just an everyday situation. And that could be a parent. That could be a sibling. That could be somebody who is just that possessive in your life where you're just like, I can't breathe when I'm around them. Okay. Now this man is one of many rich men in the world, okay, with all the power to call shots from the police department, the FBI, the entertainment industry, to the hotel security, and so on and so forth. And people are like, Cassie could have just left him. And did what? Got dragged back like she did in the hotel? And went where? Because everybody was watching her, like everybody was watching her get beat down in the hotel? And everybody sided with who? The predator.
The fact of the matter is, most of you guys are never going to meet Diddy, and you're never going to meet somebody in Hollywood or you cross their paths. But you will be crossing paths every single day with the people that you're hearing call survivors liars and saying that she wanted it. You're meeting those people every day when you're in the store, when you're on the street. Those are the people that we're wanting you to protect your kids from. Be careful.
And then again, what irritates me and what frustrates me is this is somebody who is in the limelight. This is someone who had to wake up and do red carpets and MTV interviews and BET interviews and the makeup to hide some of the bruises that they could hide. We're not talking about the children who didn't have a choice, who didn't want to be there, who were forced there, who didn't even know where the hell they were, who didn't even make it out of there. If he did this to one person, you think he stopped with one person? It's the same with the Epstein stuff. Like, I don't understand. Like, Ghislaine Maxwell, so we just threw her in jail and just quieted and just, shh, okay, we're not going to talk. Shh, fine. Who were the other customers? You think Epstein was the only customer? Epstein was the only John? She's in trouble this heavy and nobody else is? Diddy, you don't think who else went to these parties? How many shows with Ellen do you need to know that Ellen went to these parties? How many shows with Steve Harvey and and Jay-Z pictures, and how many times do you need to see you are the company that you keep? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. That's why we're not at the Diddy trial. I really don't want to go to a Black Panther party for number one, ultimately, because court is not, court ultimately is a moment to slap somebody on the wrist and say, it's like a receipt to say, yeah, I did that. Not much comes out of court. Unfortunately, the justice system is rigged. So, and that's for everybody, anybody. And it's rigged depending on who you are. Because if it's an everyday person that stole money from Walmart, you might get some time. But if you're an elite celebrity, or if you're somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, it might not matter. The justice system is rigged. If anything comes from this court, it's going to be, what are the people going to do with the information that they have? Because now nobody can say that they don't understand the terror, the horror that's going on underground and in some of these places. So what are you going to do about it? Because if our elite, if our people in power, if our administration, if the people who are supposed to do something about this is not, they're not going to do anything, then what are you going to do? That's pretty much what this is. What this court says to me. Do y'all have any questions about that? I have more. I have more. That's why they're not talking about the kids. It points to the bigger issues, and then everyone will flip their lids as they should. As they should. If people start to understand what they're doing, what he did to Cassie, that they're doing to animals, and that their child protective services are government funded child protection agency is supplying the children to people like this, yeah. No, people would lose their shit. As they should. I'm not inciting any violence, though. You know, I'm not doing that. But I don't know when people's real emotions are going to kick into the truth. If people gave a damn about reality as much as they gave a shit about fiction, then we'd have we'd have so much. Nobody would be able to walk down the street. If people were rushing to the truth and reality of what was going on to children like they did over Kobe Bryant's supposed death, then we would be somewhere. I don't care anymore. We gotta do some crazy shit. There's some really crazy shit in a few weeks. Through the false flags. There'll be a few false flags these next few weeks, from explosions to, you know, fake fights and fake shootings, and doesn't mean that somebody didn't get hurt. It just means that they need somebody to look this way because they don't want you to look that way towards the actual case and the truth of what's going on. And if you're so distracted by something that's going on, the only way people can get distracted, the real way people get distracted is if it's personal. That's how people get distracted. So if it's a natural disaster, air quotes, natural disaster that affects your neighborhood to the point that they need you paying attention and wondering if it can hit your yard next. Let's say if it's a hurricane or a storm or a windstorm or a fire that's only burning certain houses and not the trees, then you're looking for, is my house going to get burnt? Am I in danger? Is my family in its path? Do I need to go out and get water? Do I need to go out and get food? And if you start worrying about those things, then you're distracted thinking it could be me. So I need to pay attention. And then therefore you're not looking at what else is going on because that's the least of your priorities. That's on the back burner, right? So that's why they're called false flags. Doesn't mean that people don't get stressed. Real people don't get hurt. Real people are not affected. It just means it's orchestrated. It's predictable. It's planned. Yeah. Mm. Any questions about all that? Any questions? No. I'll have to think about. Trust me, I know. Miracle, yeah. Miracle, go ahead, babe. What's up, sis?
I'm over here just talking. What's going on, sister? Look, I just want to know when the family reunion is. That's all. That's all. I mean,
Okay. I think that needs to happen. If anything, not like an event, just more so a family reunion of just fun and laughter and love and church and relay games and just sitting with other like-minded souls after all the hell that everybody has been through all these years. It would be really nice to just have a 90s world party, family reunion. I'll get you a date, girl. I'll get you a date.
Just trying to find out.
I love you.
I love you too, man. I've been trying to keep you updated, but look, I know you busy out here in these streets. You can't just be sitting around talking to me all day. So
No, I'm coming. I can tell you right now that even some heroes that let me see. I think here we go. I know one. Bionic woman who sits really she can try to get a hold of us. And I'll even hit her up every other day, every day, if not that. And she still has hell getting a hold of me.
That's all good. Look, I'm not expecting special treatment. You know what I'm saying?
I know, sis. I'm just saying. I'm horrible with my phones. I really am. I'm not trying to be funny or anything. I'm seriously horrible with them. So I love you. I'm coming.
Nah, you good. Love you too. I just, letting you know your nephew was thanking you again for your comments regarding his graduation, you know.
Yeah, my smart
And
mama.
and all that good stuff. So, and like I said, I was just trying to keep you informed on what's going on at GSL too, because I've been trying. I done made a new little series. I call it Truth and Tinfoil. I'm like, let's put our tinfoil hats on, y'all, and try to figure out what we think about this stuff. So it's been interesting. I think it's been kind of picking up some momentum. So I don't know, man. I'm just just trying to do my part. That's
Actually, you know what? Like I said, I think in these next, the way that we need to start moving in the next few weeks, like I said, we're only here in this area for a few days. And then after that, we move in a really weird way. I think we're going to go live to the world very soon. But before that, I would love to answer some questions for you and honestly give GSL family. I know you've always said GSL welcomes us, but I know if we start doing interviews, I would love to head towards you first to talk to the GSL family, because I really thank you for doing what you're doing. Tez too, Candy the creator as well. And that's why I said this family in here. I tried to make it so I can come to y'all first and say, hey, this is what's going on. And if it's somebody that has to deliver the message that's not us, then you guys already got it. So we appreciate you. We appreciate GSL, and please let them know we love them. And if this video does go out there, GSL family, thank you for being so supportive and standing so strong, not just for me, but for everything that's going on in the entirety of the message. Thank you. I think I lost her. I'll hit you up, sis. Hit you up. Julie? Your mic's unmuted.
So when a false flag's being set, which way should we be looking instead? At the real things going on?
The trial. So
The trial, yeah.
usually when the false flag is being set and you see so many things going on the outside, like, oh, there's a natural disaster, or there's a weather issue or whatever, that means that within the trial, there's some real stuff going on that they would rather people not see. They want people to skip over that part. So right now, there's a lot of entertainment type of things going on within the case. They want people to see that. It's something to talk about. It's something to put on the news. It's something to trend. It's something for people to make money off of. But once they really sincerely start talking about the children or something serious, then they're going to make everybody start looking another way. And then they'll let you come back to the case. They give you what you want to hear, basically. Or they give you what they want you to hear. So, and it's not just on the case. I know there's so many different things going on. It's hard to even know which way to look. I know there was some stuff going on with RFK Jr. Taking down Big Pharma is a really big thing. I don't agree with any of the people in power, because you got to do a lot to be in the power that you are. But RFK Jr., the standing in the evil of Big Pharma is just as heavy as standing in trafficking in my eyes ranks number one. It should rank number one in everybody's eyes. But drug trafficking and sex trafficking go hand in hand. So Big Pharma is the biggest drug trafficker ever. I know that there was a discussion on autism not too long ago. I have a big heart for special needs for so many different reasons. In unfortunately the time that I had to stay in a home with some predators, and some of those predators incubated children, some of the children had autism. 3 of them did. So when I was being hurt and traumatized, I took care of 3 autistic, 1 cerebral palsy, 1 lung cancer. And that really did something for me. In the time of being in foster care, I met a lot of special needs kids, and then dealing with stuff in trafficking, I met a lot of special needs kids, deaf, Down syndrome, Asperger's, and seeing how defenseless those kids were really always bothered me. I'm the type of person that I will fight you if you are messing with somebody who can't defend themselves. It just pisses me off. On another level, like you mess with somebody who can bark at you back, and I've been that person where everybody, I'm little, so people have always messed with me thinking like you're never gonna bark back, which I didn't before, but you keep kicking a mutt in the corner. Now we're gonna fuck around and find out. But special needs kids, they have a big place in my heart. And RFK Jr. was talking about autism. Now, I look at special needs as a higher level of intelligence. Not that I'm saying I don't know what he's doing, but to stand in that gap, I don't trust him. We don't trust him for shit. That after all that being said, yeah, we don't trust him for shit. I don't know. I think people think that like just because we're like, oh, we agree, but we don't trust no one. We don't trust no one.
People do like a broken clock is right twice a day. So if the clock is broken and it's set at 2 o'clock, twice a day at 2 o'clock, it's gonna be right. Like that doesn't. That's just is what it is.
And what are we gonna do? You don't trust no damn body. Like people were all pissed at us and they were like, somebody is tagging Elon on their platforms. Yeah, don't you think something's wrong? That means something is wrong for us to try to get him to. I don't trust Elon.
Well, there's always a method to our madness. No, we don't trust Elon, but
No.
if he's got Deutsch shit that he can Deutsch CPS or Deutsch Hollywood or whatever, do that shit. That doesn't mean I trust him to be alone with my kid. Those are opposite things. But
yeah.
And then the other thing is, we're contacting you now. Now the whole world's watching how you're responding. So it's a win-win.
James O'Keefe. Everybody's like, yay, we're contacting James O'Keefe. And then I found out that James O'Keefe is throwing a freaking rooftop party in the middle of him being hunted.
Yeah, they all full of shit.
Listen, I was just like, if he's in the middle of doing what he says he's gonna do, here's the information. See if he can do something about it. Because everybody wants somebody to call. We are just us. We are just us. There is no extra hundreds of white hats. I don't know what people think. Some people, we've gotten emails from 90s Nation News where people are like, hey, can you guys send some 90s out to this location of, I got some people that I know some people are trafficking. Good. Have you gave that information to your local authorities? Because are you trying to see what else that the authorities can do in this situation? Because who the hell do you think we are? We know the authorities are not going to do anything, but have you checked? What do you think we're going to do? Like,
we already know the answer to a lot of the questions.
We do.
We're trying to help you guys see the answer.
Yeah, we know.
Several years ago, we sent people, go ask your church what they're doing to help. And a lot of people were really shocked.
Yeah, because everybody's like, my church wouldn't do that. My church is, they're good people, and we have so many different rooms in our church, and somebody said, on the weekends they do drives and stuff, and I've been giving tithes and big money to our church, and there's so many people in the church, and they would do anything. And then you go ask them, and they're like, oh no, we can't. Can't get involved in that. And you're like, but hold up. Jesus said, you, aren't we? You're preaching that Jesus said we're supposed to open the doors to everyone. So what are we doing? Then some people find out that their church is a big fashion show. It ain't a house of the Lord. It's a house of entertainment. Sydney, I see your hand up. We just chilling, fam.
Now?
We chilling. There you are.
Now?
I hear
Okay. So I have an actual legitimate question, but I want to say this first. I love you all so much, and I was so happy. I mean, I figured it out when you dropped the first hint like a month ago, but I'm so happy for all three of you. I really am. I
Thank
love you all
you.
so much, and I'm
We
so
love you.
overjoyed for you. So, okay. So my real question pings on what you were just saying, Shelley. So my question is, what would be your top three pieces or suggestions for survivors to work on breaking their own shit? Just three. Just top three. We'll make it easy since it's late.
That part. You're trying to make it easy. Top three.
For your
No.
mama or whoever.
Okay. I'll do three, and Mama could do three. So I would say dealing with triggers, and that is easier said than done because, to be honest, and something that this one is learning about me, when I smile, I'm hurting a lot. So when I think that when I say go through triggers, that's easier said than done because usually for in a day's worth, there's so many triggers that'll have you in the corner. Small things too, like the way that your clothes feel against your body some days, or the smells, or the time of year, whatever. But getting to the other side of those triggers and finding out what is causing those triggers is a huge breakthrough. So you know how to deal with it the next time. Thanksgiving is a really hard time of the year for me. I think, I don't know, Thanksgiving I had just got with my mom out of foster care, and the pimp and couple that I was with set me up, and I got tortured by some pool guys on like right the day before Thanksgiving. And it was just the fact of thinking I would never be with my mom again that scared the shit out of me. So every year on Thanksgiving, I just get angry. Like, angry. And I mean angry at nothing. It just the smell of the food and the talk of Thanksgiving and the just the atmosphere of Thanksgiving everywhere, it just makes me angry. Working through that and knowing that, hey, it's that time of year again, and that's why I'm so angry, has started to help me move past those things. So nobody wants to talk about triggers. Nobody wants to work on those. Nobody wants to deal with their wounds. So focusing on why your trigger exists is a big one. If you have alters, communicating with your alters, facing the fact that you have alters, that's the hardest part. So many people want to jump to schizophrenia, bipolar, voices, and encouraging that something is wrong with you. When you accept the fact of why you're broken, then you can start dealing with the broken parts. But when you can't even accept the fact of who threw the damn heavy thing at the mirror and it caused all these shattered pieces in the first place, you're not going to get anywhere. So it's easier said than done to deal with your alters, but to know that they're there and to say that there's a part of me that can do this, there's a part of me that can get to the other side of whatever this issue is, then you'll start to move past things too. Because there's somebody who had to be that strong in the first place to make it to where you're standing. So if you're here and you're a survivor and there's something that you went through that was meant to break you and to bury you and to suffocate you, there is a part of you that knows how to survive. So there's a part of you that knows how to heal. Once you understand that, you go into something. And so triggers, dealing with your alters, and I can't talk shit about the guilt because I'm still working on that one. But
So, first of all, they didn't recognize each other. Like they told me before that they kind of would see each other on the inside. They didn't know that was a thing. They didn't know it was DID. They just didn't deal with each other. So the first thing was getting me to recognize who I was seeing, then get them to work together. And that was like fucking trying to herd cats, because some alters are programmed to get them in a bad situation, and when they're in the bad situation, then push the other alters up. They were programmed not to get along. Sometimes they have alters that will rape other alters on the inside. So it's meant to keep the system in chaos, just perpetual, continual chaos and anger and just all kind of bullshit. So trying to sort that out is a lot. But once you start acknowledging, okay, we got these alters, we need to work together, even if it's just two alters working together. We had got to the point where I said, if everybody wasn't tracking right, if everybody wasn't thinking straight, there's no big decisions that are being made until everybody's on the same page. Well, you can't get 200 people on the same page, but the majority kind of ruled. So that's a huge thing, is making sure you're getting your alters to communicate with each other, however that may be. Any survivor or a truth teller that says they're a survivor that is not addressing their alters publicly, we back the hell up from, because they got some other shit going on. If you're not going to call it for what it is, then you still got some issues you need to deal with. If you're not going to address the DID and the alters and the MK, then you got bigger problems. The second thing would be to find a support system that you can bounce stuff off of. It doesn't have to be a mom. It doesn't have to be a mom and a dad. It doesn't have to be, it can look any way, as long as somebody's there to help you, to make sure that you're thinking straight and make sure you're staying on track, and to pray for you and to hold you accountable. That's kind of the purpose of what creating Allie's Army was for people to be able to stand with the survivors. If you're calling at 3 a.m. and you need prayer, somebody needs to be there to pick that up for you, and help you carry that load. The other thing is addressing the lies. There have been so many times I've been about to pull my hair out of my head, because the things that she was programmed to believe, like I would pull out the laser pointers and the charts and the encyclopedia, and like, this isn't true, but it's really hard for them to address the lies. So we kind of go by the rule of anything people that, if somebody's trafficking children, pretty much 100% of what they said was a lie. You can't believe anything. You can't trust them. So it's breaking down the lies. It's working together with the alters. And then it's having whatever kind of support system you have, however that looks. It doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't need to be cookie cutter. It's just whatever works.
someone said this feels like a FaceTime call.
FaceTime call.
It's like personal. Like we all on the phone together. It should. We family. Good. Good. I hope it feels like we all just chilling together. Because we out of the car, so it definitely should feel like we all just...
I think a lot of the programming, which I'm finding out more and more, the programming is linked together. So think about your grocery store that you go to. If you have one of those club cards for the grocery store that you can scan, and it'll give you your coupons or whatever. You can take that card and you can go to any of the same type of store and you still get your coupons, you still get your points. If that system goes down, then you can't use your card. Doesn't matter what store you go to. Survivors are kind of linked together like that. So when one starts to break free, I think it cracks things for other survivors, and I think it has a ripple effect. So at some point, I'm hoping when stuff starts breaking down, and I'm seeing it, I'm seeing survivors getting bolder and stronger and bucking the system and breaking programming in ways that I didn't see 5 years ago. So I'm hoping that we are on a good trajectory.
Episode CTY. Is that D? That's D. I'm gonna just say D because I don't know if you want your name out there like that. But I muted your mic.
Hey, yes, this is D. What's up?
Hey.
That's
So,
crazy. How are you? This is crazy. I'm so nervous right now. How are you?
don't be. Don't be. It's wild. We just doing it all. We family, just sitting together.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. But yeah, yeah. I mean, well, first off, I want to say, I love you, and even though I
Oh,
don't like
shoot.
know Hawkeye a ton, I still am getting to love Hawkeye. Of course, Mama Shelly too. Like anyway. But oh goodness. Sorry, I'm trying to get a deep breath. I'm like getting all stuttered up. Ooh.
You all good?
But I just wanted to say I'm also a survivor as well. So I wanted to just kind of say like thank you for just everything that you do. And I just appreciate you and everything that you and your family do so much. But my question was, also I did send you Never Enough. I know you've been busy, but whenever you do get a chance, like let me know how you think about it because I've been thinking about it.
Okay.
But anyway, I was gonna ask about an update on the All of Us like A to Z because I know you guys had briefly talked about it a little bit ago about like maybe like having like sending out more about that or sending out more of that series. So I kind of wanted to ask about an update on that if you guys have thought
And
about it.
I love you, and I'm sorry, and I thank you for your existence. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Seriously, thank you for being here. Um, and thank you for fighting for yourself and for everybody else. And A to Z, yeah, we had some situations. We had an editor held at gunpoint. We had uh another editor that was just doxxed and messed with and all kind of things. So we had the footage set on a standstill after all of that. Them trying to just adjust back to life. They're okay. Everybody's okay. It's just mentally and spiritually trying to get back into life is what's going on right now. Um, again, everyday people. So we are working on trying to get that footage out there. We were just talking about it with a few other angels, because the next part of that is, I mean, it all fits to right now. It all fits to, I mean, everything cycles back around to what's going on. So yeah, we're working on that. If anybody in here is an editor and have some time to jump on and say, hey, I can help with that, we would love you and appreciate you. It's just it's everyday people just trying to get it together. So, and I am so forever grateful for all the family that we have and the beautiful talents that everybody has, to even do this, because everybody was making their own clickbait and rage bait and stories and makeshift stories about my truth. So everybody that has come together to put this together, the All of Us series together, with just everyday people that said, hey, I have a camera. Hey, I have some editing skills. Hey, I know how to do the sound. And it's been a huge blessing. So I'm trying to work it out. But thanks for asking. But yeah, we're trying to work it out and get on part 2. And I'm gonna check my messages. I'm so sorry. But I can't wait to hear it because I just know you about to kill it. So I'm so excited. Your mic's unmuted.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, congratulations to everyone.
Thank you.
So happy for you all and to hear of the continual healing that you're doing. I think a lot of prayers have
Thank
been
you.
said and are continuing to be said. So um I I wanted to ask you and your mama, and I guess your mama, as you talked about the the top 3 things, and was Sydney had asked of
Hmm.
what a survivor work on. When you're triggered, Mama Shelley, how did you help? How did she help you? How did you help Allie and her alters during those triggers? What was it that you did in order to help her work through those?
Hi. Nice to meet
Hi,
you.
I love you guys. I'm just
Love you
so
too.
glad to be able to talk with you all.
Um, so one of her programmings that Zach and Aaliyah did was to put spiders on her and on Taya and make them bite her. Um,
Spiders and pinching bugs.
so
Oh my
they
gosh.
Taya has an insane fear of spiders. Um, so I can't tell you how many times I've had to pick up a spider and carry it outside, pick up a spider and carry it outside. And every time of doing that, she would get less and less triggered to the point. If they see a spider now or she sees a spider
Yeah,
now,
that's what Dad was just saying. I had a pinching bug on me last night, and I kind of just like
Whoa.
sat up straight and shook it off. And
but yeah, 10 years ago, she would have probably almost split at that. So it's a lot of repetition. It's a lot of things like that. Um, a lot of the triggers would put them to the point where they would almost split. Um, so it was a lot of like, I'm getting the spider, I'm taking it outside. I'm getting the spider and I'm taking it outside. Invariably, this is where that witchcraft and shit comes in. We could be living our life perfectly fine, and anytime Taya would come up, she would always be the one to find the spider. Like, you could take that to the bank. That it was just somebody could have been up 2 seconds before, and everything was fine, and Taya comes up and boom, there's a spider. Um, we have I've taken her to places like the Getty. We didn't go to the Getty, but we drove by it. And because she would describe things to me. It was a big white thing. It was a museum. It was this and was that. So then I have to figure out what she's talking about. But she can usually describe things to me with such detail that I can figure it out. So one day we were in that area, so I didn't tell her, but we drove past the Getty. She started having a panic attack. She started getting triggered. So I knew we were over the target with things. So then we we just whenever I know there's something that's a big issue, I didn't bring spiders in the house to trigger her, but we dealt with it when it came. But there's some things that I knew if they were issues that we would trigger. I would trigger and then walk her through it. It's okay. We're not doing things the same way. You're safe now. Managing those triggers is a big deal. That's where they start to get their power back. But the triggers were used to split them for the most part. Whatever the trigger is was used to cause them to split. And at that degree that she was when she first came, she would split in a heartbeat. Like she was about to split almost instantly over a spider or over anything. So it took a lot of tedious work to kind of desensitize them to the triggers. I guess that's a better way to say that. And again, with the spider, she would take her cues from me. So I'm picking up the spider by his leg, taking him outside. I'm not having a panic attack. I'm not afraid. I'm just calm. So 1,000 times over, then she kind of lessens her energy a little bit and lessens her trigger a little bit. So it's a lot of repetition.
That's true. I do take a lot of my cues from my mom. Not in like a who doesn't? Like as a child, you know what I'm saying? That normal, I look up to my mom. Before, the people that had a hand in my life, they were scared of everything. Everything was a fight. Everything was something that led to something violent. Anything led to something violent. So for the longest time, I was never okay with silence. Silence is really loud for me sometimes because I grew up in a place where everyone was always fighting. There's no one that is ever seeing eye to eye. If people couldn't speak about anything logically, just put a sentence together to explain to you and communicate what the problem was. It always led to something violent and aggressive. Nobody ever took responsibility or accountability. Screw up different. And now I can say that, hey, wait, something is not that serious. It is not that, it is, you can't say you're sorry and not have to beat the hell out of somebody. It's not that deep.
For Sydney, one other thing that might help is stepping back from the things you know and the way you've done things. Take a step back and look at that thing objectively, through your adult eyes as opposed to your child beliefs. The people that are predators and do MK Ultra programming and do those evil things, they target the children. And once they put that, instill that fear and those beliefs in a child, those things carry on to adulthood. So they don't have to do too much on their end to keep control of the survivors. But when the survivors take a step back and say, let me look at this through an adult eyes or an adult perception, it kind of changes things a little bit. But that just step back and be objective. Allie and the crew have been doing that lately, kind of looking at things through an adult perception, and it doesn't look the same and it doesn't carry the same weight.
No. No, it does not.
Give an example.
No, it does not.
We just talked about one the other day. Oh, Zach being a doctor.
Oh, so I now know that Mr. Misunderstood. See, when I was 17 years old, and in my head as a foster kid that wanted to get out of the life that I was in and be able to take care of myself and fend for myself and be able to say that I had this husband or I had this family. When he put it into my head that he was a pediatrician, I believed that. When I look back at things now as an adult, I see that this man did not have the equal amount of clothes in the closet that she did, Aaliyah did. So if if you live there, where's all the shoes? Where's all the shirts? Where's all the boxers? Where's all the socks? I look back, and as an adult, I'm like, those drawers weren't full of clothes. Those were full of clothes of like, when I sleep over, these are the things that I need to change into. I think about the lab coat, and then I think about now, like I made somebody, there was somebody that graduated, and I made them like a science lab coat with their name on it with a cricket. And then I'm thinking now, like, he used to have on a white coat. Every time I saw him in the morning, he left early in the morning, worked a 9 to 5, came home or back to the house with a box of little brown bottles of medicine. And then my mom was telling me, like, pediatricians don't do that. Drug reps do. Drug reps that sit in a lot of doctor offices that have a lot of friends that are doctors and surgeons. Because then when I'm thinking now as an adult, as a kid, I saw all these doctors and surgeons and men with still stethoscopes still pulling up to the house, nice cars, and hardworking grown as 40-year-old men at 17 years old that I was sitting with, and they were grilling food, and I'm trying to be in this conversation of a 17-year-old child in the conversation of 40-year-old men. And I'm sitting there like, oh man, this is serious. These are doctors. When in reality, Zach is a drug rep, aren't you, Zach?
Zach's not smart enough to have been a doctor.
Zach's not a doctor. Zach's not a pediatrician. He wanted me to believe that he was a pediatrician in Norco, Eastvale, California. But in reality, Zach is a drug rep in Eastvale, California that has many different friends that he's walked into doctors' offices and...
Well, and they're doctors that also participate in child sex trafficking.
as much as they participate in drug trafficking.
Yeah. But what Zach did, he used that lie of being a doctor, and they did, him and Aaliyah did that heart ritual on Taya, where they made her believe they removed her heart. So the lies are compounded on lies, and as a child...
Yeah, he told me he would give me my heart back when we got married when I was 18 in Vegas. That didn't work.
So if a survivor can start, as hard as it is, step back and start looking at things objectively, start finding the lies, because just rule of thumb, if somebody sold you for sex, they are a fucking liar 100% of the time. Like, there's just no truth in them. So if you can start wrapping your head around the fact that a lot of the things that you believed, or they've made you believe, were lies, you can start unraveling some of that.
Yeah. So I'm starting to see that too. Like, huh. And he always had drugs on him. Always. And when I went to his office one time, we weren't really in a doctor's office. We were in a conference room. Now that I've sat with real surgeons, and now that I've sat with real drug reps, I see that we weren't even in a real doctor's office. We were probably in one of his stops.
You in the janitor's closet.
Yeah.
Where the help goes.
Where someone said, hey, you sit there until it's time for you to talk to the doctor. And he called me and his whatever she was over, put on a fake ass lab coat, and told me he was a pediatrician. 17 years old, I believe that. 31 years old, I bullshit. I bullshit. I bullshit. Oh man. But yeah. 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 I'm having a lot of those reality checks as an adult through some healing. You know what? One thing that I do see, LaRonda Rochelle Outlaw. Here's her thing. Here's what I want to tell you. She tried to put up a picture of a man that she claims is my father. I don't even think she would know what bus ran through her if she had the whole damn schedule. So I don't think she has any room to talk about whose father goes to who for number one, because that hoe don't know shit. And paperwork proves that. her own her own everything proves that about her. I don't think she would know who went to who if someone had a schedule for her. Okay, someone find her a ledger and I'm sure she still wouldn't even be able to connect the dots. All right, but this predator, I'm sorry, I shouldn't even give her a name. This predator tried to say that there was this man that was my father. If you look at my original birth certificate, which you know we don't mind posting, you know we don't mind giving to you. You know that we don't mind giving you the case number for you. Know we don't mind giving it to you. You can have it. My original birth certificate that reads Tori Tashina Outlaw does not have a father on the birth certificate. It does not.
Well,
When
go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, you want me?
I'll jump in a minute.
All right. You want me to double dutch you? You ready? You ready? Okay, I got you. Hold on. Let me speed the rubber. Give my home girl good luck. Hold on. so my birth certificate says Tori Tashina Outlaw, and then it has that predator, LaRonda Rochelle Outlaw, listed as what you would call, what people tried to call a mother. That's not true. That's a whole other conversation, right? A father, there was nothing listed, right? Nothing. When I went to St. Bernardine's Hospital in San Bernardino, California, are you with me? St. Bernardine's in San Bernardino, California. I went to the hospital. I was dressed as Olaf, y'all. Listen. My sister, there was somebody in my family that was there. They had to be at the hospital for a procedure. So I'm like, we're at St. Bernardine's Hospital. It's 2019, I want to say, because I think this is at the time that I worked at this dance studio. It was 2019. Okay. And I'm dressed as Olaf because it's my winter recital for my kids and I go all out for my kids. So I'm like, we're having fake snowball fights. I glued together cotton balls that I'm like, if you've never had a snowball fight, you will tonight because we're going to snowball fight 5 minutes at the end of class because why not? Right. So, I have an Olaf onesie on. And I remember because I felt so weird standing there in the middle of St. Bernardine's Hospital. And I go up and I ask the nurse, can I get my original birth certificate? She asked my name. I gave her my driver's license and I gave her my information that says my name now is Allison Leilani Ray Carter, but my former name was Tori Tashina Outlaw. Okay. I hand her that information and she goes to the back. She comes back and she's crying. And she's like, I'm so sorry. And I said, sorry about what? And she's shaking. And she's like, it's you. And I'm like, what? And she's like, your last name's Outlaw, right? Uh-huh. Unfortunately. And she's like, well, you just got to understand that a nurse had to sign for you. It was shift change when you were born, and I can't tell you anything else about that. And she's crying. I'm just like, why are you crying? This makes no sense, right? So now I'm like, okay, maybe I don't want this answer, right? So then let me help you out. I'm not gonna say his name, but I'm just gonna say it was similar to OJ. It's actually the same name. he actually has Juice tattooed on his chest too, just like OJ. His name is the same. So, but Juice is tattooed on his chest. Ask me how. I shouldn't know that. I should know that. I shouldn't know what was under that man's clothes. But anywho, his name is the same as OJ, and his Juice is tattooed on his chest. And she tried to say, after she brought him in 2005, October 5th, 2005 to be exact, that we met up at the Ontario Mills Mall, and she said that this man was my father. Right? Well, long story short, there's police reports, documents, and things of that nature because of abuse and whatnot that he knew of as well. Now, here's the thing with MK Ultra and breeder families. They place people, certain people, as families. They want people to believe that that is the family that belongs to that person until the truth comes out. And then you learn that people were shuffling people and those families don't really exist. So you know how some people question a lot of the celebrities' children, and they're like, nah, that can't be. They don't look like them. If they are, they were either born in a lab or somebody else, like a surrogate, bred them and had them, and then gave them to another family. That's kind of the situation. And you'll see that within the Outlaw family a lot. LaRonda has 6 kids. 6, supposedly. 6 girls. All 6 girls. 5 of them want nothing to do with her. 5 of them ran from her. 5 of them refuse to have anything to do with her. And if they do, it doesn't last long. One of them has the most Stockholm syndrome. She fucked her shit up. But she became the predator that LaRonda was. Camille Janice Outlaw? Camille Janice Outlaw? Yeah, her. 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 So the truth is there's so many holes to the story that I'm not even sure of.
The way they run MK Ultra and SRA, they have breeder families. They will put children in homes, place them in homes, because they need to corrupt that mother programming and that father programming. That's the root, that's the foundation of the programming, is the mother and father programming. The mother should normally be the foundation for the child, and then the father comes on top of that because the mother carries the baby in the womb. So the first thing that they have to do is corrupt and pervert the mother programming. Once they've destroyed that, then they layer in the father programming as the most significant. So they're kind of reversing it backwards. They keep the child moving around in different homes. So there's no connection, so there's no attachment. They don't want the child to attach or bond with anybody. They bring the father in, and I'm using air quotes. It doesn't need to be the father. They bring a father in at specific times to kind of reset or lock in the programming. That was the father that LaRonda was claiming was the kids' father. He was brought in at key times, like at 12 years old. He was brought in at 16 years old. He showed up on scene, raped the kids a couple times, and then dipped. He's a piece of shit. When the kids first came, he was kind of in the picture because of CPS. CPS hunted him down. And it took me one phone call, and we've not seen or heard from him since. I told him if he didn't back the fuck up, I would report him. And he dipped like a little bitch. he was not listed on the birth certificate. And if you know LaRonda, you know she would have bled every penny out of him if she had the opportunity. So the fact that he wasn't on the birth certificate gives me pause. There's a lot of things like that that lead me in the direction of Lassane. There's a certain anal rape is part of father programming. So anal rape is usually reserved for, and I'm using the air quotes, the fathers on the contract or on the signature or the father permit. I told you Ellie had 13 on there. Eddie was one, Lassane was one, Manuel, Snoop is listed on there. I think there's several others. I don't have all of the 13 yet, but I will find them. So they spend a lot of time on the mother, destroying the mother bond and putting in evil mother programming. They do the same with the father. And then they bring in couples to seal that. So if you start to understand how deep the programming is, it would be impossible to break. Like, it is impossible to break without God. I don't even have the words to explain to you how intricate it is in Allie's system. Allie belongs to the subgroup of diamond kids. She has diamond programming. That means she was trafficked to elite. The depth of the programming that they put in place would make you rock in the corner. There's a system on the inside that the kids can see. They each have a room on the inside. There's wallpaper on the inside. There's different things in their room to do. Like, it's just mind blowing, the depths of what evil they have done. If you go and do some digging, you'll find out Lassane's name before he was Tupac. He's been renamed I don't know how many times. You can see it's easy to adopt a child as an adult. It's easy to change your name. You just go down to the court and file a petition. If you are running with corrupt people, you can have those names locked down. But Lassane's name was Lassane Parish Crooks.
Everyday county people can take someone out of the system.
You just need a couple corrupt people in certain positions to do whatever you want.
It's not hard. They do it every day. It's a protocol. Now, if you think of the fact that there's people that sit in every single source of authority, whether it's a doctor's office, a police department, inventory, for the courthouse, there's someone that sits everywhere. If they want to make someone disappear, it doesn't take much at all.
Lassane's name was Lassane Parish Outlaw. That was changed to Lassane Parish Crooks. Crooks is a synonym for outlaw. They mean the same thing. He has outlaw tattooed on his arm. There's a picture on the internet of Lassane with two little girls. One little girl has a red top on. I have a picture of the kids a little bit younger, but you can tell that it's Allie. There's a specific look. So I shouldn't have a picture, and no little kid from San Bernardino should be in the same picture with him that's on the internet. Like, there's more than enough coincidences.
No, it's Eddie Outlaw too.
Eddie Outlaw was military. He was a Navy guy.
You can check where he's supposed to be at. Now, he's supposed to be buried at the March Air Base. He's supposed to be. He's supposed to be dead. He's supposed to be.
There's a lot of dead people walking around.
A lot of people in this family have the means to fake their own death. That doesn't run in the family. I stopped those generational curses. So, nip that shit right in the butt. So, Um, if you can do a search if you live in the area, go check it yourself. Eddie Outlaw, March Air Force Base, U.S. Navy.
Allie was trafficked in and out of the base. She was flown in and out of the March Air Force Base, which is in Riverside.
Did you hear me when I say he's supposed to be dead?
Mhm.
I don't know if you heard me. Did y'all hear me? Did you get that? He's supposed to be. He's supposed to be. Let me check if y'all heard me. Did you hear that he's supposed to be? You got it? Yes? Okay, cool. Just checking. If you heard me when I said he's supposed to be dead. Okay. But if you look at March Air Force Base in, what is that, Moreno Valley, Paris, California, is that on the
Right
line?
on the edge of Moreno Valley, Paris, and Riverside.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that goes on out of that cemetery and out of that supposedly closed
Yeah, it's supposedly a defunct base, but they still
base.
run shit out of there.
But he's supposed to be dead. He's supposed to be. But your terror freaking triplets are still running around. I don't know if you want to get his little crotch goblins that are running around. His little secretions that are supposed to be dead too. Everybody got a luck in this family. Everybody.
Another coincidence.
Everybody.
LaRonda.
Oh, we won't.
Out there, but there's several other that
We'll stop there. But when you'll meet the rest of them, I'm sure you'll. If we hear kitty kitty, the rest of them, I'm sure. If you do that one time, if you do a cat call, hey, kitty kitty, you'll see the rest of the loves pop up. You'll be like, oh, there they are. I see it. I see it. Yeah. 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 Oh, and the one that's supposed to be my other father, that one. I need to stop saying that. It's disrespect to you. It's an insult now. I'm so sorry. Rude. But this fool, he's in a secret society, Freemason society, that he's very proud of, that there's pictures everywhere. And I want you to ask what you have to do to get to 31 degree Mason. Go ahead. Go research it. Don't do it on Google. You won't get that answer. Do it on Yandex, but be careful. You might get too much of an answer. But if you look at that, then you're like, huh. So if you're in a Freemason secret society, that's the creature that we're talking about. This one is supposed to be dead. Everybody in this family keeps dying mysteriously at like 45, 48 years old. Huh. If it looked like a duck and it quacked like a duck, you would think it would be a duck, right? I don't know how people end up with a cat. I really don't. No. Yeah. I feel good. I feel like I needed to get that off my chest. I do. I did feel like I needed to,
You're doing great.
just let that out. Oh, great.
Great.
Thank you. Just wanted to come on here and talk to y'all because I feel like we're about to get into some eventful situations that I know we're all going to see soon. We don't give a shit. Do you know? Can you tell? Can you tell that we sincerely lost the ability and any more fucks to give. So we have rounded, we went from, fuck around, and we have rounded that corner to find out. We just parked right in that find out area. We pulled over and we're parking right there. Yeah, we might live there for a little bit. So, if that's the case, I just want you guys to know the truth. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, we're willing. You guys know we're always willing to answer. It's what people are willing to do with that information and how people are digging for that information. Like, are they digging for ammunition because you're really not going to find any because we don't care. We don't care. It is what it is. We have been trying to protect a few people, and the people that we were trying to protect, they, in the mix of the smear campaign, they were hit and they're fine. It actually made them just brace up even more and better, because now they get why we were like, hey, be careful, unfollow us, and delete any attachment that you have to us just for now. We'll talk to you about it later. Yeah, now they get it. And they don't care. So, green light. We have to go back into the lion's den soon. So, we'll see how that goes. And the lion's den means so much for us. So if you have a chance to screen record, if you see us pop up live, we appreciate you. People might try to make that disappear before it even gets to go through to the internet. So we try to make sure we're braced for that, because, predictable. But thanks for sitting here with us. Y'all okay? All right, y'all. Well, still spaghetti night. So, it's been sitting there cooling for a minute. I didn't turn that blender on, so I'm gonna go blend this up, and we're gonna have a plate of spaghetti, and we will be back in here soon. Like I said, we're only in this area for a few more days, and then we got to get back to some stuff that is going to be interesting. So thank you for praying for us and having a screen record ready if we have to jump on. And hopefully more comes from this case. There's something different. I pray every day that there's something different that we wake up to, like move a little bit different. So still praying. All right, y'all. Thanks for sitting and chilling with us. I am going to get to my messages. I'm sorry, I'm going to get to my messages.
Thank you, everybody, for the Mother's Day wishes and the birthday wishes. And thank you, RJ, for the video. I appreciate you guys so much.
Oh, that video, RJ. Thank you. You were so talented. Thank you. And that song is on replay. Alrighty, y'all. Dear Jesus, we just thank you for this night and this time together. God, we just ask that you keep everybody safe, keep everybody protected, God. Give everybody a good night's rest. No nightmares, no terrors, God. Let them sleep peacefully, Jesus. And I pray that something moves, God. In your name we pray. Amen. Bye, y'all. Good night.